Hi guys, today I'm reviewing this EENOUR hat press. I was pretty excited to get this because I don't have a hat press that is individual, separate from a heat press. So you get your manual, you get these two extra fuses, you get two choices of these little heat plates here, and how you take it off is you unscrew it this way, and then on this side you have to unscrew it that way. So it's very strange that you have to turn each one in the opposite direction to remove and replace it with this one if you choose to do so. One thing that I was really surprised about this is how small it is. Like, it's just really nice and compact. It does feel of good quality. However, it's not quite as solid as what I'd like. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it definitely does have an unevenness when it's sitting on my table. Unlike my other presses, like, they're solid, they're not moving. I paid a lot of money for these ones. This one is relatively expensive for what it is. You don't really know what you're getting because you're dealing with unfamiliar brands. So when it comes to a hat press, I am a little bit leery about spending a lot of money on something like this that could potentially not even last a year. There is a 6-month warranty. For the price of this unit, I would want to see something a little bit longer than that, preferably a year. That seems to be standard for the units that I buy. So much can happen within such a short amount of time, especially if you're not using it every day. The manual looks really good. Here's the information. It's 350 watts, which is important to know because if you're like me, I have to turn off a lot of my studio lights in order to run my heat presses because I do end up blowing a fuse. But 350 isn't too bad. You have here all of the operation instructions. So they do seem pretty clear for what I can tell. I like that they've got the pictures on this side, and it's excellent for those of you who need a visual. When it comes to the gloves, you want to be careful because when you get gloves like this included with these types of heat press, you can have problems because they don't always work well with the temperatures that you have. So take these, for example. I've got these free and they're very similar to these. I am a little bit suspect that these could be similar to this, where it really can't handle the heat. And I have had mine melt before, and it ruined my project that I was working on. So you do want to be careful. You have your pressure adjustment here, which is really easy to use. You just tighten it as you see fit and whatever works for your project. I made sure that everything is set up properly before starting my project. It's not something that you're gonna want to do while it's really hot. So I definitely recommend you do it before you turn it on. You have your power switch down here. Very simple to use. I have my timer set and my heat temperature, which is gonna be 320 degrees. And I have it set for 20 seconds. You're going to hear a ticking sound, which usually happens when the metal is expanding, but this seems to be, I don't know, like it just makes a sound, a ticking sound. So what we're gonna do is you wanna lint roll your hat, make it nice and clean. I'm using puff vinyl today, and I'm just going to stick it onto my hat. So there's this little handle here. You wanna lift it up, and you just stick the back of your hat underneath, like so. I am finding that ticking noise a distraction. Big time. It's at 320, which is what we want, and it's going to be for 20 seconds. All right, so we're going to let this cool. Peel it up. There we go. Pretty cool. Now, I've used this puff vinyl before, and I do find it's not puffing up. I don't know if it's because this is not quite the same temperature. Maybe something's off with it and it's not really 320. So I do find it a little odd that it's not quite puffing up like it should. But overall, it's decent. It does do, well, it's definitely on there really good. But yeah, it's not as puffy as what it should be. Overall, it's a decent hat press. I did have a good time using it. I haven't figured out how to stabilize it. That is a problem, and for that I do have to remove a star for sure. In terms of usability, it's very easy. You have everything that you need. It does feel well constructed. It's easy to use. The controls are very easy to use. It does make that weird ticking sound, but that does seem to be normal for this machine. I do have to use it some more just to see how things go, but so far so good.